Good evening. How are you all doing tonight? My name is Daniel Gibson. I am Regional Vice President with Allegheny for the Miami-Dade area, representing Overtown. Overtown! Woo! And we have about a half hour to have a conversation with a couple of our friends from the different communities of the Common Good Initiative. So I'm gonna invite up, yay, absolutely. You can, feel free to use your table clackers. I'm gonna invite up 4 individuals, actually looks like 4 women, to represent men. You gotta work harder in this in this community. Teresita Matos Post from White Mama. The Honorable Shanique Maynard from Lincoln Park. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Miss Tanya Gay Jackson from Waimama. And the person who made the mistake of sitting next to me on a bus today, so she's invited to the panel as well, Ms. Octavia Yearwood. Come on up, or come on down. All right, so we thought we would have a little panel discussion today in the little time that we have in order to just hear from some of our partners about what the Common Good Initiative has meant to them. We have 2 individuals who I believe represent councils of our, right? You guys both are on the council. Are you on the council as well? Oh, you're not on the council. All right, so we have a whole array of different community members up here. And so I thought we would start off by you all just introducing yourselves and what your connection to the Common Good is, and then we'll continue the conversation from there. And we can start with Shanique.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and very bittersweet, really. I am from Lincoln Park, and I first was introduced to the Common Good Initiative when they came into Lincoln Park, and they had a community meeting at a restaurant, a soul food restaurant in Fort Pierce called Granny's Kitchen. And they had all of our community leaders there and told us what the idea was going to be. And from there, I worked with the Common Good Initiative. I was running a nonprofit at that time, doing some boots on the ground community mobilization work. I did that for a couple years, and then I became a magistrate judge in my community and was invited to serve on the council for a couple years. And so I've seen the progression of the work in Fort Pierce from the beginning until where it is now.
Great, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Teresita Matos Post, and I'm the Executive Director at Bethel Farm Worker Ministry, a faith-based organization that started around the 70s in the Waimama community. And my connection to the Common Good Initiative was that I was a newcomer into the community. My first event was hosted by Allegheny and Enterprising Latinas, and that was my introduction to the community. I came in around December of 2019, right before COVID hit, so it was a great opportunity to connect with the leadership right off the bat, the emerging leaders and the leadership of the community, and that has informed the way I do my work as the executive director in our organization.
Great, thank you, and thank you for having me. I am Tanya Gay Jackson from Waimama. I represent the Goodfellas Impact Coalition, who's blending the community with our Hispanic and African American culture and history. I became affiliated with Allegheny Ministries as having a want and a desire and a need in the community to make change. There was nothing that I could find that could help me. I thank Liz Gutierrez, I thank Enterprising Latinas for at least giving us a space to be able to start to create and have a table for ourselves. I thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. They got us drinks tonight.
Yes, they do.
My name is Octavia. Somebody said click clap. Yes, yes. Snap, 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 snap. for the beverages. Okay. My name is Octavia Yearwood. Clearly, I'm a part-time comedian. I got into Allegheny because a good friend of mine, Armin Henderson, saw the work that I was doing in the community with him and with other folks and said, you know, you should be a part of this fellowship. And then they let me in, y'all. I went through the program. It was so impactful that I wanted to be a part of the impact. So I came back after the hiatus, after the pandemic. My team was the pandemic cohort. And I said, you know what? I want to coach. And they let me in again, y'all. So I'm currently also a coach with Trepwise and for the Fellowship for the Common Good. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Timberland. And thank you, Lucas.
I guess I didn't know what I was getting in for when I invited. I felt bad for her, but now I'm playing. It's wonderful to have you. And literally, we got off the bus and I said, would you like to be on a panel discussion? So thank you for being willing to participate in something that you had no idea what you were getting involved in. So the first question I have is really just for all of you is, you know, we are here celebrating the end of essentially a decade's worth of work for Allegheny Franciscan Ministries. And each of you have talked about your own personal experiences in the Common Good Initiative. And I just wonder what does the Common Good, when you walk away from this, what will the Common Good Initiative have meant to you and to your community? And we can go for it.
I'll go first.
All right.
Because I'm very excited about the opportunity that Allegheny has given me to be able to make an impact in the community. I'll stand just quickly. This is one of the things that Allegheny Ministries was able to help me to perform in our community. This was my first job. It also was the first African-American general store in Waimama. It also served as a safe place for children. Nowadays, they play video games. Back then, in this place, allowed you to play pinball, buy the big windmill cookies, big pickles, all of the things that children would have had to go a long distance for, and then it wasn't safe to get there. So the opportunity that Allegheny Ministry has given me to be able to promote African American history and history in itself in a place that it would have been lost is a fantastic moment for me. I'm holding on to my eyelashes and I'm going to sit down.
All right. How about you, Teresita? What has the Common Good Initiative meant to you and to your community?
I have quite a few things to say. I'll keep it brief, but part of it has been I've come at the tail end of your investment for almost a decade in Waimama, and I have been the beneficiary of listening to stories like Tanya's and many other of the leaders in the community who come to Bethel, where our work is focused in amplifying the voices of farm workers and migrant families who, by nature of their work and their status in this country, even when they want to speak or muster a little bit of courage to speak up, can't afford to. And I've seen leaders like Tanya come to Bethel and use her own story and been an ally in solidarity. And so for me, that has been a beautiful thing to see how the work has weaved different sections of the community together for the common good of the community. So that has been a beautiful benefit to our ministry and the work that we do. That we don't get to do it in isolation, but that we get to generate that work in collaboration and community.
The Common Good for me was almost like Batman in a way. Yeah, Batman. Because, you know, I didn't even know it existed until I knew. I didn't know that it had the impact. It was working with some of the most amazing minds in Overtown, but also in Miami. And it was really magical to see all the little tentacles and all the work that was activated and really making impact and really just doing things. It showed what the standard also should look like when you say you want to make impact in the community. For me, Allegheny has shown through the way it funds, It has shown through the people that it's chosen to support. It's shown every single thing to me that you need to do to really change and impact a community. And I've seen what it's done in Overtown. And again, Batman, I didn't even know that Bruce Wayne was out here doing all these things. You know
She's not talking about me, by the way. I'm not Bruce Wayne.
No. You're the butler.
I'm the butler. Wow.
You are needed, okay? You are appreciated. No,
That's funny.
But yeah, so like for me, it really changed. And when I went through the education aspect of it too, it really just shifted the scope of what I thought it meant to be doing this work as an individual who goes from being an individual and just a person to now this leader, which it's such a big word. And then you take on all these things and kind of leave yourself behind in a way. And I feel like the education showed how to balance it, how to use government, how to use education to really make the impact that you want to do, and also how to use community. I'm a firm believer that trust is currency, and I trust Allegheny.
That's beautiful. Thank you. You know, I will just do a shout out to the fellowship, which tomorrow we will be honoring even more. We'll be looking at the current class who are graduating tomorrow. And we have Timolin and Lucas in the room. Where are you guys? Over there. So thank you to Timolin and Lucas, who were so paramount for the impact that we've had in the fellowship.
Y'all did that. Y'all did that. For real.
And you know, I had the blessing to be able to go to one of the last sessions, which was about the fellowship, with fellows and their graduates, and asking them what's next for you. And just hearing some of those answers was just wonderful. So thank you for lifting that up, both Tanya and Octavia.
So, you know, when I think about what the common good has meant to me and my community, I've really looked back at where we were in Lincoln Park when the Common Good Initiative started. And Lincoln Park was a community in crisis. We had a really severe problem with violent crime. In 2013, 2014, we had a 16-year-old get shot in broad daylight in front of the library. We had a 14-year-old open fire at a 4-year-old's birthday party. We had a 2-year-old get shot and killed in the crossfire. She's sleeping in her house in the crossfire between violent communities. And we were a community in crisis. And, you know, we were having town hall meetings, and we were having marches, and we were having vigils. And people, especially young people, were still dying. And for me, this was very personal because in 2003, I lost my brother in Lincoln Park from gang violence. And then shortly thereafter, my other brother received what was then a life sentence and was taken to a 20-year sentence for trying to retaliate. So here I am, I've gone to law school, I've accomplished all these things, I'm working as a lawyer in the community, and I come back to my hometown, and the problem has gotten even worse. And the victims have gotten even younger, and the perpetrators have gotten even younger. And so when Allegheny showed up, we were struggling. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, we were struggling as a community. And there were so many voices with so many opinions about what should be done. And, you know, if you were the mayor or the chief or the commissioner or the head pastor or whoever, it was almost like your voice was heard. But if you were just somebody who lived in the hood in the projects with bullets flying, where could you speak? And so for us, when Allegheny came in and they really helped us facilitate, I think about the assessment process. When we were bringing people together and we were saying, it's not about what title you have or how many degrees you have behind your name or what office you've been elected to, but your voice matters. And you can take this microphone and share your ideas. And not only did we do town hall meetings, but we did focus groups. where we went out into the Boys and Girls Club and met with parents. And I will never forget, I think Miss Betty might have been at that focus group that we did. We were in the Boys and Girls Club talking with these young people and about the violence and what they thought the priorities should be. And we didn't even know that one of the young men who had been shot and killed was a 16-year-old at that Boys and Girls Club. And those kids started to fall out on us. And here I had to take off my hat from being an executive director of a nonprofit and a former prosecutor and all these things, and put on my hat of a sister who was grieving and knew their stories. And I remember Yupenda at that focus group, and afterwards she said, "This is the Boys and Girls Club. Like, this is all the resources they have." I mean, it was beat up, it was banged down, it was dark, no lighting, no cameras, no security. All the toys and the books were old. It was just a mess. And it was Allegheny that said, "We're not going to just come and hear these young people's voices and leave them sitting in this mess." And they helped totally redo that Boys and Girls Club. And so when I think about what the common good means to Lincoln Park, I think about it bringing all of us on equal footing together to be a part of a solution, and then supporting that with resources. Because it was the first time the people in Lincoln Park actually had resources in the form of money to bring to the table to say, this is what we want in our community, and this is how we're going to support it. Very, very, very powerful, and I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful.
And we are grateful for your service. We are grateful for your memories. Actually, your remembering sort of the beginning makes me first realize that we need to pay tribute to all council members. I don't know if you guys know if everyone is aware, but every common good community has a council that is made up of local residents and stakeholders who, for most of the communities, have been since the inception of the program. So like Shanique was saying that she was there from the beginning. She remembers why we came into the community. And so I would love if all the other council members who are in the audience today, if you can just stand up. We have our Lincoln Park, our Waimama, and our Overtown council members. Please stand up and just represent yourself. Thank you for your service. Thank you for showing up for your community. What? Oh my goodness, Miss Trina Harris is in the house? Trina Harris is in the house? What? Oh my goodness, Trina. Okay, full disclosure, Trina was supposed to be sitting here, and she wasn't able to make it because of a personal commitment, and I didn't know you were here. Do you want to come join us? I just got here. No, are you sure? Oh my God, you just told that that's a complete surprise. It's so wonderful to see you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to see you. And so in the fashion of what Shanique was able to do is really sort of from a place of remembering where we were and thinking about some of the successes of the Common Good Initiative. I know you each sort of provide a different perspective, right? Some of you were students within this model, and others were there from the very beginning. What is one, and I know I'm asking a lot, and I didn't give them these questions ahead of time. What is sort of one success that when you think about the common good that you are just so excited about?
Can you say that again in another way?
Okay. ¿Qué está la cosa?
Not in another language.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is something that has happened connected to the common good? Whether it is individual, organizational, community, an impact, an outcome, a resource. What is something that you saw change in the community that you are just so happy to have seen happen in your community? And you're making it, do you, oh, go on ahead. I like Miss Tanya. Go ahead, Miss Tanya.
Me.
Oh, yes. All right.
Hey! Hey!
Don't
Say that!
Don't make it cry.
Hey! Yes!
When
Say that.
when you can pour into people, when you can build on their confidence, when you can allow them to help build others' confidence, Why Mama's going to be a new place. Why Mama's going to be a place of inclusion. Why Mama's going to be a place of growth. Because all of us in this room, Alleghenies, have allowed us through your workshops and your one-on-ones and your Zooms to collectively look at ourselves first. I shared something with another class, and since I see you, I'm going to share it. It's the remove method. Remove. Remove emotion, move on valuable energy. I think Allegheny's given us all valuable energy with the tools that they've given us. The voice that I have today is a totally different voice than I had a year ago. I'm going to use that voice to support my other sisters and brothers, not only in Waimama, Overtown, Lincoln Park. You have my number. Call me. I will go to bat for you. Had I not had a special engagement on September the 11th, I would have been in Fort Pierce. Is it Fort Pierce? Where Cece?
Yes,
I would have been there, and I plan to try to be there every year. But we collectively now, all together, have changed. None of us are the same anymore. And with that change, let's help each other. Let's pour into each other and support each other.
Wow, that is so powerful because
Yeah, beautiful.
I mean,
Absolutely beautiful.
I can think of all the ways that I've changed. And I think for me, I mean, we have had so many successes with the Common Good in Lincoln Park, but the one that I think exemplifies our community success the most was our response to COVID. We went from, in 2014, a community in crisis, sort of all over the place, dealing with an epidemic of violence, to a worldwide pandemic, trying to figure out how to educate and inform people to keep them safe and to make sure they had up-to-date, accurate information about the pandemic. And through the Common Good Initiative, and for me, it was kind of a personal journey because I had left doing community work and was now a judge, and you can't say this, you can't talk about that. But thinking like, what can we do to have an impact? Everybody's locked in their house, nobody's coming out, we're all afraid, like how can we have an impact? And partnering with the Common Good Initiative, we were able to bring our community's pastors together to talk. And if anybody here has worked with the faith community, you know getting pastors from different denominations and different churches together in the same space to work together is not easy. But because of the work of the Common Good Initiative and because I think also of the respect that the pastors had for Allegheny Franciscan Ministries and understanding the faith-based foundation of that, and because of all the work we'd done talking and collaborating and getting to know each other, we were able to bring 25 to 50 pastors together monthly to get them up-to-date, accurate information. And we were able to bring our county manager to the meetings. He was a member of the council at that time, our mayor, our director of our health department, our school district, so that these pastors could get, and not just pastors, community leaders could get accurate information and disseminate it to their congregations. And we also, through that collaborative, were able to get the Lincoln Park area as one of the first places distributing vaccines in an underserved community in our state, because those pastors then got together and wrote a letter to the governor to say, we want vaccine distribution in our community. And that was about the convening power of Allegheny Franciscan Ministries and the Common Good. And to me, that's like, to go from a community that couldn't get it together for a violence epidemic to now being on one page, one accord, one mission during the pandemic, I think was one of our best accomplishments.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. All right, either of you sort of have a favorite outcome?
So
for
I
the-
have two. I almost said what Tanya said. I wasn't going to say me, but I was going to say people like Tanya. And Bethel has, as a faith-based organization, we have had, we've been in the community for over close to 50 years. So we have developed what it's called very toxic approaches to helping the community. And one of the things that we have been challenged through the leadership, especially of Liz Gutierrez, who at the beginning of the pandemic got us all together similarly to consider what would it look like for agencies to work alongside residents to respond to the pandemic in a way that was effective and quick and not toxic, was a huge learning curve for my organization. We had to develop a new muscle. We have seen people, we see over 700 people go through our food pantry on a weekly basis. And I wasn't there to know what it looked like before, but I hear the stories of people who went through that line now telling their story and with a sense of pride. So pride was the word that came for me, like Waimama pride. That they're doing amazing things, that they know that they have resources, that they have wisdom, that they're the experts. That has been transformational, not only for the community, but it's teaching us how to do our work in a different way. And we're still learning. And throughout, similarly to the work that you guys did, we met on a weekly basis on Zoom, over 30 organizations who have been serving the community. We started to shift the narrative and the ways in which we talked with each other, and also the ways in which we worked with each other. We fundraised together. We started to align with each other, and in the end of the pandemic we decided, let's make this permanent. And so that's how the Waimama Together Collaborative developed, in a recognition that there is already a thriving community in Waimama. All we have to do is to align with each other in meaningful ways and let the community decide for themselves what is the best course of action moving forward. So those two things, the pride and the ways in which it's challenging us, the Common Good Initiative in its aftermath is challenging us to think differently about how we do our work.
I love it. Wonderful, wonderful perspective. Thank you. Miss Octavia, what you got for us?
Well, I've been an educator for about 20 years. Yes, from the womb, I started teaching my mother, you know, how it's gonna go down here, lady. And one great indicator of a great program is when the people that you've supported come back. And that's what I did. I was in 3 fellowships at the same time. When I was in Allegheny's fellowship, I was in 2 other fellowships. None of them impacted me in the way that this fellowship impacted me. To the point, thank you. I'm sorry they didn't follow the suit, but I see you. I see, okay, y'all. All right, we done got it together now. All right, and cut. After doing this fellowship, I wanted to come back. First of all, doing the fellowship really inspired me to lean into doing coaching. And I coached for a year, promoting it on my own while they were in a hiatus. And then when they came back, I reached out and I said, I want to coach for this fellowship program. I know what y'all are doing, and I want in on that. I want in on that impact. And yeah, they let me in once again. So I think that the win for me is how successful the fellowship was, that all of us want to keep coming back.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. That's why.
Yeah, she's one of my fellows that I coach, by the way.
That's
know what I mean?
So first I want to do a time check-in. We probably have like 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes? Like 10 minutes? Okay. So I really appreciate the different perspectives, right? So we have that sort of the individual impact, the community impact. You know, I will share, just individually, I also, like Shanique says, like I can think about the man that I was when I started. and the man I am today. And I have to say, I'm a better person. I am a more introspective person, which I didn't even know was possible. I am actually, believe it or not, a more quiet and person.
I don't know if that's an agreement.
No, seriously, what I've learned from this is to listen. That you don't have to enter the room with the solution. To listen to the community and to listen for the answers, and you're not responsible for bringing the answer into the room. It's a collective process. And right, Graylin can tell you stories. Graylin can tell you stories of early Daniel. And so I'm very, very appreciative of that. And it actually makes me think, I'm looking at these pictures as they're going by and as we're talking, and memories are so important, right? Our own personal memories. And I have so many wonderful memories. I mean, the very first day that I started the job, the very first day I met my council members was the day after Trump had been elected. If you can imagine the energy, the emotion, and the fear that we felt in that room, and the very first council meeting, literally my first day on the job, and Eileen, thank goodness, was with me, and she had enough of understanding of the moment to say, the agenda's no longer the agenda today. Let's just talk. And those conversations we had that day, started my journey. And I remember Miss Thema, and I remember Katrina, and I remember Donnie, and I remember the pain in the eyes of our council members of what had just happened. And so I'm thinking of all the memories, and I have fabulous fun memories also. I remember I remember taking people around Overtown and having the very first tour of the Common Good Initiative. And so I'm just wondering if you all have a special memory. Happy, sad, it can be whatever. The emotions not due, but I just think memories are so important as we reflect on where we've been. To sort of go back and just remember where you were. And I kind of cheated with Miss Tanya, and I told her I might ask a question like this. So you said you had a memory.
I have one.
So why don't you go ahead and start, and y'all can think about this if you have any other memories.
Oh, I sure will. So I remember our first actual in-person. And everyone came in, and I'm thinking, all these great people, and you have your preconceived, oh, she's a lawyer, and he's a... But then we did Ashe. Ashe brought us all together as humans.
What is Ashe?
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't know what Ashe is. Ashe is a moment, I hope I'm gonna say it right, Tim and Lucas, that you all are able to share. It's a safe place where you're able to share something and leave it there and go away without it affecting you or being a part of who you were at that time. All the people in the room at that time, we all had our preconceived notions of who was what because of their titles or those type of things. But after Ashe, we saw each other as just sisters, brothers, humans, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, which allowed us all from that day forward to find that common tree of the human thing that we were all there for, the common good. That was our common good. We were able to see each other as just people.
All right, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And though it's not required, I kind of like the idea of standing up with the microphone. So of course I do. So I actually like that, standing up with the memory. When you guys tell your memory, and actually Trina, I think were you moved by a memory?
Amen.
Hi, you guys. I just couldn't sit because this has been an incredible journey for our community. Where my towners at? Where my towners at? Okay. I just have to say that Allegheny has not only been a pillar in my life personally, like the other woman said, but it watched me grow. Serving on the council, I was the youngest member. I didn't know what the heck was going on. But I knew that I had a passion and a love for my community. I was able to grow, learn, and impact the trajectory. And I thank Allegheny so much for what you guys have done in your investment in our communities. I think one of the things, how many of you guys either own or in charge or a part of a nonprofit organization in this room? Or serve on a board? In our community of Overtown, we have several nonprofits. And when that happens, most times in communities, we're competing for funding. We're not working together. We're not on one accord. We're working in silos. And what we learned when we came around that table as council members, we were able to bring folks together. We were able to bring our people together. And with our Overtown, one of the investments with our Overtown Children and Youth Coalition, Ms. Graylin Sweely, thank you so much. Now, Mr. Anthony Robinson, thank you guys so much. But bringing organizations that are powerful in the community on the same accord, creating a coalition that not only impacted Overtown with local funding, but was able to go after state dollars and get a children's zone designation in our community of Overtown. So I'm honored as an Overtown resident, as a CEO of a nonprofit in the community of Overtown, as a business owner in Overtown, and as a home owner in my community of Overtown. So I'm grateful. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I state that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you. Literally, I love this woman, and I feel bad when I say it, but I can't look at her and just like be so proud. I actually try not to tell leaders in community that I'm proud of you because it sounds pandering, but I'm so proud of the woman that you are, that you already were when I met you, and just to see you continue to grow. It's just amazing. Amazing. All right, who else? Any memories that you all would like to share? A memory.
So, for me, the memory, having been a council member, is just sitting at our council meetings and struggling over some of the decisions that we had to make. And I think one of the things that I learned that wasn't my forte before, was that it's okay sometimes to fail. And you don't have to fear failure, because sometimes it's letting yourself take those steps to lead to what you believe is failure that actually turns into your greatest success. So for our council, one of the memories I want to bring up is the app. The app. We were trying to do a Lincoln Park app for years. And we had given out some money, and the people weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, and we would come back to these meetings, and I'm like a former lawyer judge. I'm like, we need to sue them. And people like, this is Allegheny, we're not suing people. So anyway, that is one of my favorite memories, because it just taught me that not everything you try to do is gonna come to fruition the way you thought it would. Amen. But we as a council became closer and stronger through the situation with the app.
Amen. That's a good one. Yeah, app is a bad four-letter word if you ask me. Hey,
Is it 4 letters?
No, but it is for me.
The app was a 4-letter word in Lincoln Park.
All right, Miss Octavia, you got a favorite memory?
So I think that as a person, everybody in here has built, right? Has invested in community, has sought resources to invest. So my memory, actually, aside from one of the newer coaches trying to make me a side coach, which was kind of crazy. I was like, oh, what you mean?
Wait, what's a side coach? Well, actually, let's wait until later for that.
Put me as
when the kids go
one,
away.
okay?
A side coach.
Jot it down. But it was when we were we all got together for one of the times where, all of us get together. I think we were in Waimama. Might have been in Lincoln Park, but we might have been in Waimama, right? And me and Aki, who's one of the other persons in my cohort for Overtown that year, we sat down. It was like we were I think there was a hallway with steps in this hotel. And we were sitting in the steps of this hotel, and we was like, so everybody got a computer. That's about a couple of hundred, all right? And then, all right, they putting us in the car. They paying for that too, okay? And then we all got our own room, okay? And then we going to 4 places, okay? Then it's the air flights, and then they giving us the stipend, okay? Okay, and then it's because it's an extra 2.5 on the end if you want to extend the education and all that. Okay, that's about, what's the number on that? I think, okay. And then, and then they reimburse that, okay? They do that too. They're investing a lot of money in each and every one of us. And we was like, and we know Timberland and Lucas getting paid. Okay? I think they wrote it all. And then there's printing, okay? Anyway, we said that was one of my favorite memories because we are so used to, as community anythings, right? We are so used to the struggle. We are so used to really trust needing to be currency because I ain't got no dollars for you. I need this favor. We're so used to that it gets a little crazy when we come across an organization like Allegheny that puts the investment in you and shows you in many ways that you are worth the time and that you can do this work and that we believe in you. And for that, that's my favorite memory and why.
Lord, a woman had me sweating up here. Where's she going with this? Where's she going with this?
Look, I might seem a little Kanye-ish, but I ain't there. I mean, you let me wear my shades after all.
All right, she brought it up. I did tell her. I said, you can come up here, but you got to take those shades off. She said, I won't. I said, yes, you will. You see who won.
Leader.
She's a leader. She's a leader. That is amazing. And for board members and some of the sisters in the room who are a little concerned about how that started out sounding, it made me remember the memory of never being allowed to go to New Orleans with these people. All right?
I still
there were
need that
costs
trip.
that the Allegheny wasn't willing to pay for. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. Sore spot for cohort 3. Sorry, cohort 3.
We still, sisters, I might talk to you later. I'm so thankful for you.
Yeah, for those who don't know, cohort 3, because of COVID, their trip was cut and what? It was postponed, and then canceled. Sorry. And one final memory before we wrap up this evening. Do you have a memory?
I would like to surrender the space to maybe any of the other Waimama fellows who might want to share their memories. So I don't know if William or Macrina or the gentleman in the back who introduced himself at the Raiteroas in Waimama.
Is there a Waimama?
Would you like to share
anybody, a
your
Waimama
favorite
fellow,
memory?
council member, anyone from Waimama like to share a memory? All right. I knew that was going to happen.
Venga.
All right, William.
Come on, William.
Creo que esta es una magnífica reunión.
Hello, everyone. I believe this is a fantastic reunion.
La verdad que no tengo palabras cómo iniciar esto, pero quiero indicarles
I am at a loss for words to express this, but I want to tell you
que escuchando tan hermosas experiencias como las que acabo de escuchar y todos ustedes también,
that after hearing such wonderful experiences as I just did, as well as you did,
hay que agradecer a Dios la oportunidad que nos está dando a todos y cada uno de nosotros.
We must thank God for the opportunity that each and every one of us has been given.
Allegheny, te llevo en mi corazón.
Allegheny, I bring you in my heart with me.
Creo que todos y cada uno de nosotros hemos sabido convertirnos
I believe that each and every one of us have learned to transform ourselves
en los líderes para poner y marcar el camino a donde pretendemos llevar a nuestras comunidades.
in the leaders who will set down the path to lead our communities.
Somos unos afortunados al haber sido elegidos
We are fortunate to have been chosen,
y creo yo que del grupo que estamos acá servirá para seguir haciendo crecer a nuevos líderes en nuestras comunidades.
and I believe that the group of us that's gathered here tonight will help other leaders grow out of our communities.
Yo cuando tomé la oportunidad de ser un becario,
When I took the opportunity to become a fellow,
no me imaginaba las grandiosas experiencias que me iban a permitir el estar con ustedes.
I could not imagine the wonderful experiences that would be allowed to me for being with you.
Pero sí estaba seguro de que en mi corazón latía la fuerza del bien común.
But I was sure that in my heart beats, that's where the Common Good Initiative was.
Y creo que en cada uno de ustedes eso está puesto para seguir luchando en reducir las inequidades,
And I believe that is within each and every one of you to continue the struggle to reduce inequities,
realizar a nuestras familias con una calidad de vida merecida,
to realize our families, to bring about a quality of life as they deserve,
luchar por lo que nos corresponde, a ser menos pobres en nuestras comunidades,
to fight for what is owed to us, for our communities to not be poor,
desarrollar las economías locales, que son el camino para el despegue,
to develop the local economies, which are the takeoff,
y lo más importante, vivir en paz.
and the most important thing, to live in peace.
Dios los bendiga.
God bless you.
You know, I will say that I think, William, thank you so much for your leadership. And I think that Waimama was very, very influential in helping us as an organization understand and looking at all barriers to leadership and participation. And one of the things I'm most proud about is our commitment to language equity and making sure. So, William, thank you for being such a leader and helping us understand that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that being said, I think we've come to the end of this. We could talk, as you all know, and with every one of you for hours about the Common Good Initiative. And we are going to close it. I will say that as I look around the room, I have wonderful, funny, inspiring memories with so many of you. You know, Elizabeth, I just think about meeting you as a teacher at the high school and now seeing you go through the fellowship program and just what you have experienced in this. And I have a friend in you, and I love it, right? And I could do that around this entire room. And so I wish we had time to celebrate each and every one of our partnerships that we've been able to create. I thank you all for being here. This is just the beginning. We have more program tomorrow, and we have more fun tonight. But before I go into what you can do tonight and tomorrow, I want to thank you all for coming up on stage. I want to thank you for coming up on stage without sort of knowing where we were going to go. A lot of people don't they get a little bit scared with that. I did have one person tell me that they might have some stomach cramps while we were up here. I hope that they're doing okay. I'm fine. You're fine? Okay. Yeah, I just thank you all very much for coming up and for all the memories and all the wonderful accolades and just sharing that you've provided. Thank you.